So that was the reception that anti-trans Texas House candidate Jeff Younger got when he made the horrible decision to go speak at the University of North Texas. I don't know what he expected. It's easy to imagine that people will be chanting something when you speak, but when it's F these fascists, you're gone down the wrong road, man. And so Jeff Younger probably regretting that. Apparently, leading up to the video that you saw there, though, he had been seemingly instigating the crowd even more. It was clear that they didn't like him, but he apparently, according to a Twitter thread by Ismail Belcora, says Younger's yelling at the crowd, calling them communists. He called the crowd Russia and then went back to communists. That made a little bit more sense. He said at some point, there is no such thing as a trans person, and this is what leftist politics looks like, which is not generally true. But I wish that was what leftist politics looked like, that it was filled with that much vigor and passion and defense of people under assault in the right-wing culture war. Ben, what do you think about this?
I mean, like I just recently learned I'm a fictional character, everybody. I'm a figment of all of your imaginations. Yeah, like I'm just a program in a simulation, okay? No, it's just wild. Of course trans people exist. Of course trans people exist. And you love to see like this type of solidarity. This is what's so important, right? Like literally the best thing that you can do when you bump into people racist, homophobic, transphobic, you name it, is make them feel like they're the only racist person in the world. Make them feel like they're the only transphobic person in the world. Because maybe they'll wake up and realize that they're unpopular for a reason. Maybe perhaps they will be like, wait, am I the bad guy? Because they
am
are.
I?
Yeah.
No, he's not there yet. You know, he at one point said, "You guys are perpetually confused." No, they don't seem confused. I don't know them personally. It is possible they're confused about some things. It was at a university. I'm gonna say calculus could be confusing. I don't know. They seem to understand where they stand on this. You seem a little bit confused about a great many things, including the diversity of life experiences that people in our society, as well as notably every other society through the entire history of humanity, has experienced. You don't have the wherewithal or the emotional maturity to educate yourself about these other experiences, and you think it's your job as a state level politician to police these people's lives. And I get why in Texas you would think that. That is apparently the only obligation they feel of their constituents is to go after trans people. But this is him, by the way. We don't show you this for any particular reason, but it's him. Now, he apparently also got attacked by the crowd as being a deadbeat father, because apparently one of the reasons that he decided to run is that he was mad that his ex-wife is helping transition their child. So this is not only a position he takes politically that he's wrong for, but he's also on a personal level very wrong in this area too, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being that hateful. Like literally imagine being that hateful for like a second. Like what, like, cause like think about like the impact on your kid. Like think about the impact on your kid. Like even if you don't understand it, like I wanna be clear. Like my mom doesn't understand, but my mom is supportive, and that's it. That's like all it takes. It just a little bit of just being supportive. You don't even have to understand. But instead of that, this dude, he's clearly confused. And so he's choosing to literally run for office because he is upset about the existence of like his child not matching his like perfect ideal of what he thinks his kid should be, right? Which I mean, that is like a whole nother thing that right wingers really just want their kids to be like clones of themselves.
Totally.
But like, it's just like, I mean, think about the impact that's gonna have on your kid. Like why is he not thinking about the relationship that he might wanna have with his child? Instead, he's just too swept up in his own hatefulness in order, like, you know, like it's just a damn shame.
It's sad on a personal level. And I can have sympathy for a confused person who has been brought up in a hateful, xenophobic culture and has accepted those lessons. When you then act on it, and in particular try to weaponize the state government to go after these people, as you know, Texas has. They are sending CPS to people's homes. They are searching through medical records. This goes way beyond that. By the way, that event went a little bit beyond the video that you saw. Denton police later confirmed that there was a report of a UNT police officer driving a car into a student who was protesting a speech by Jeff Younger as the car tried to speed away with the organizer of the event inside. So bringing Younger in, bad idea. Not a good sign when you have to like drive as fast as you can out of there. Hitting a kid on your way out is the absolute worst, though. Like you got to have speakers, I guess. You got to think through this a little bit better. People are allowed to protest. They shouldn't. Again, the casual targeting of them with cars, obviously something we've been against for a long time. I hate seeing the violence from kids who are just standing up for what they believe in.
Yeah, and it's just really infuriating how much like violence, like, I mean, because literally just imagine, right? Like imagine like this situation. Somebody says, "Oh, hey, I'm a girl," right? And your reaction is to get violent about that. Like that is like really condensed at the base level of what it is. They're literally these people who are just so willing to commit acts of violence because they're upset that somebody is a woman or is a man, and they're just mad about that. I mean, like it's just really baffling, the sheer level of like violence they're willing to subject people to, especially like the threat of taking away children from their loving parents. And then because who are the parents that they're gonna give those kids to, right? They're probably gonna give those kids to foster care that has a ton of problems. I mean, like they're probably gonna give them to transphobic parents, right? And so like think about that for like a second, just like the sheer horror. And it's just absolutely nightmarish what they're trying to do in Texas right now.
Yes, apparently, by the way, there's relatively new news that the specific investigation of one set of teens has now been blocked by a judge. So that is good. That is effectively, when good news happens over the past few years, it is because one judge along the way has stepped in. Unfortunately, we know that anything can make it to the Supreme Court eventually, and we know what that's like. But reminder to the Democrats, you are still in power and we still expect you to do your job. You cannot simply hide behind some random judges.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.